Welcome to the IO Psychology MA Open House. We decided to do it in organizational behavior because organizational behavior is one area of IO. And I thought I'd start with telling you what is IO Psych anyway. And if you're one of our master's students, you got to get this down to a 2-minute elevator pitch because you're always asked that when you're applying for a job. Well, what is IO psychology? I don't even know what that is. It's an academic discipline that blends research, theory, and practice to understand human behavior in the workplace. That was in one of our handbooks, so it must be true. The I is basically historical, comes from the roots of IO, where scientific managers applied scientific management to work during the Industrial Revolution. It's also now it's a little bit of its own field, but it was really the beginning of IO psychology. The O stands for organizational. We study people in organizations. It's that simple. So at UWF, we operate on what's called a scientist-practitioner model. We use science to inform practice and make good decisions in the workplace. Why choose UWF? This is the sales pitch part. It's a pretty well-paying career. You can do well for yourself. It's fast growing. There's a number of different types of jobs you can get. You can do research or data analysis, government, consulting, human resource management. Our program is ranked in a variety of characteristics as one of the top master's programs in the country. One of the top ones that we're good at is culture, student culture. So the students generally get along and like working together and working with us. We'll get that from the horse's mouth in a minute. We emphasize practical experience, so you can take your liberal arts degree, come into our program for a couple of years, do some in-class projects with real clients, and be ready for the workplace. We have a network of successful graduates going back to the 1970s. We're one of the oldest master's programs in Iowa in the country. Small classes and faculty mentorship, and you can do an internship or a thesis. Any questions so far? All right. So we've had people at Southwest Air. I wonder how she's doing now that they've had some trouble. We've got somebody, I wonder if she's still there, at the USDA Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service. We've got actually we have 2 people in organizational development at Sacred Heart. Neither one is there anymore. I guess we should pick people that are still there, right? These were starting positions, and people move on from their starting positions pretty fast. NetPIDIC Navy Testing Center, where you write the tests for the enlisted personnel for all of the Navy. And then we have several people at Navy Federal Credit Union, and that's right now. One of our grads, Eileen Winterberry, what did they go on to do? She went on to her PhD in DePaul, and now she's a leadership consultant and coach. Eric Middleton also went on to get his PhD at Claremont. He did a thesis with me. He's a leadership, organizational change kind of person. He works at the MD Anderson Cancer Center in Texas. Ramsey Corso, HR, works, actually you got a new job, didn't you? Is this his current one?
I think that's his current.
Sorensen Communications at
He's
Salt
a
Lake
data
City.
analyst.
At DECO. I thought
He
was
also
at
did,
DECO
he was at
now.
UPS for a while too.
Okay.
Amanda, Associate Learning Consultant, training basically. Heather is a Senior Human Resource Generalist and Org Development Person. I cannot remember what organization she's at. Kayla, Selection Analyst at the Utilities Commission. Brittany, also one of my students, she's the director of the Leader Institute for Ascension Hospital Systems at Sacred Heart. She's got an interesting job. She brings all the leaders of all of the hospitals in the system together for training and conferences and all kinds of interesting things. Okay, so what is our program? It's a 42-hour master's program with some training, some personnel selection and appraisal, human factors, research design, a stats class, legal issues, group dynamics, org change, and an internship or thesis. Obviously, you don't need to remember the details of that. I'm just putting that up there. And you also get 3 electives, and you can take basically anything I approve, but you can take them in groupings. Like you could concentrate on HR, you could concentrate on human factors and training, you could concentrate on applied analytics or occupational health psychology. And most of these classes are actually interdisciplinary. They're offered in other colleges in the university. So we like you to get out there and put your toe in the water, so to speak. So what do we expect to apply? 3.0 or better. You have to apply online at UWF graduate admissions. This year, we haven't decided permanently, but this year it's optional to submit your GRE scores, so that takes off some of the pressure. We'll probably do an interview instead. You should have gotten a C or better in research methods, 2 letters of recommendation, and a personal statement of why IO in this program in particular is for you. If you want to be considered for financial aid, the deadline's February 1, but we'll keep filling until the cohort is full. We only start in the fall. We take so many people, and then we move on from there. So February 1, but you don't get your materials in by then. You're not sunk, but you should try and get them in by February 1. And let's see. Anything else we can add to that?
We passed out the flyers, so
Okay,
folks got that.
Okay, so on this, I can post this for my class, and you can post this for your class. There's a how to apply button for the graduate school. You don't apply through us, you apply through the UWF graduate school. And then here's a little bit more on our website, and there's my email and email for all of the faculty in the IO program. So right now, there's 4 of us, plus we may or may not teach our own methods class. We have obviously more than 4 faculty on the staff here. Right now I'm serving as coordinator, but we take turns. Valerie Morganson is on the Zoom call. She's on sabbatical, but she's here in her little box. And Dr. Cass is sitting right there in the purple, blue, and teal plaid shirt.
I'd say plaid, yeah.
Yeah, it's looking good, yeah. And Dr. April Shantz is doing the technology, which she always gets stuck doing, but thank you. All right, so a little bit there. And now I want to get to the good stuff. We thought we'd ask one of our current alumnuses, yes, alumnuses, Kayla Hartley, who's a data analyst research associate, is that right?
That's right.
Okay. Would you tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about your experience in
Yeah.
the program?
Okay. All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kayla Hartley, and not long ago, I was an undergraduate student majoring in psychology here at UWF. And so I was also in Dr. Schneider's organizational behavior class. And it was actually this class and then another class that I was taking with Dr. Cass that really just piqued my interest into the IO field to begin with. So I knew that I loved psychology, but I also knew that I didn't necessarily want to go into counseling or therapy or pursue a degree in to become a psychiatrist or psychologist in that sense of the word. But I did know, like I said, that I loved psych, and so sitting in these classes, it occurred to me that I could potentially use psychology and the principles of psychology to improve people's lives. So just about everyone works, right? And so I remember thinking, what a way to help people, improve their lives at work, spills over into their home life maybe, and the opportunity to help organizations run more smoothly and efficiently was something that I was really interested in. So at that point, I was towards the end, or probably towards the middle of my undergrad in psychology, and I started doing some research, and I looked more into careers in IO Psych, how much would the career field grow, and I knew that it was a really good fit for me. So I looked into several universities, but UWF has a really great reputation. We've always had a really solid program. And so based on that research and just my experience here as an undergrad in psychology, I knew, how great our professors were, and I knew what the culture was like as an undergrad student here. So I decided to apply, and I got accepted into the program. It was a difficult program, I can say. It's challenging. There were several late nights in the library with my cohort, but absolutely worth it. And I can say for sure that I have had the opportunity to, I'm going to pull this down if that's okay while I'm up here. So I've had the opportunity to interface with lots of students from other programs. And like Dr. Schneider mentioned, one thing for sure that we have going for us is ample opportunity for both applied experiences and research. So once you start the program, if there's an area that you're interested in, you will certainly have the opportunity to get more experience in that before you finish. And one thing that people are always talking about as recent graduates is that they feel like employers want them to have 5 years of experience, but I just finished. How am I supposed to have all that experience? In several interviews that I've had, one comment that comes up regularly is that people notice how much experience I have in a short amount of time. And most of that is attributable to the program here at UWF. So whether it's those applied projects in class, or just getting involved in research projects outside of classes or extracurriculars with professors, I truly think that if you go through the master's program here at UWF, you will certainly have a leg up on your peers who might be interviewing for the same position. So yeah, it was the greatest experience culture-wise. You hear a lot about programs being really competitive, and just situations where people don't necessarily have your back. But here, I think maybe because we're a small group, everyone works together to help their classmates meet their goals. So that's something else that you won't find at every program, I can promise you that. But so coming through this program, I took an internship with the Navy on Pensacola NAS. I stuck around there for a few months, and then I was laterally promoted to work with the Navy Research Lab. And that's where I am now. So I'm a data analyst, and I do research with them in creating new selection tools across several jobs within the Navy. And then recently, I applied for a position with the National Science Foundation. I knew that I wanted to work with them back when I was looking for an internship. So recently found out that I was selected for that position, so I'll be taking that and heading up to DC probably in January. So without going into too much detail there, yeah, the program opened up a lot of opportunity for me. So I can't speak highly enough about UWF and the program, and I wanted to keep this short because I know we have a lot of other things to cover. But if you have any questions about something specific, or if I can expand on anything, just let me know. But if you are considering IO psychology, based on my experience and the experience of my cohort members, it would be, it's a great choice. So good luck in whatever you decide to pursue, but I think if you're interested in the field, this is a great place to look more into. So.
Okay. Questions?
Anybody have any, want to ask her what it was like, or?
We also got a couple of year ones with us, and Shaniqua's online, so she's a year two, as well, so.
So, yeah, if we
We
have,
got Kiara, I didn't even see you over there, so I got 3 year ones in the room and 1 year two online.
so we thought you know, professors talk a lot, and we are certainly used to it. It's sort of what we do.
I don't think
And-
we have Rebecca. Do we
No,
have
I,
Rebecca?
yeah,
Okay,
this is.
did you wanna, are you saying anything about just being in the program? I don't wanna like hog the.
I can answer questions.
Why don't, you guys want to come up? Why don't you guys come up so that you're on the screen for people?
Yeah,
Go
sure.
ahead, you can do it. Come on.
Yes, you can do it. You can do it.
We're here.
Yes.
Hey, maybe you guys could talk about some of the class projects that you did.
Yep, that'll be good.
Are you, so you're.
We're year one.
Yeah, we're all year one.
We're all year one.
Well,
Did
one of the
anybody
class,
not sign?
yeah, so one of the class projects that we're in right now is we're working on the campus master plan, which is like split into these 4 distinct groups for our client. We have a variety of clients that we're working with right now, and one of the things that we're doing is we're gathering survey data, and we're also facilitating focus groups. So one of the things that's great about the program is pretty early on, because we're only in week 12 right now, is you're already gathering skills to throw in your toolbox, pretty much right off the bat. So right when you enter, you're immediately putting stuff on your resume that's that you can
Thrown into the
use in the
fire.
future.
Yes.
You want to say anything about your plans?
Well, I'm in the diversity
Oh, yeah, we're the
strategic
same.
plan in OD. So like
So
you
you've
guys
met them
seen
before.
last week, we came and did a focus group with you guys last week, which you guys did really great in. Like Noah said, it's really hands-on. We're having to do a lot on our own, so like you said, those tools are really needed. You're learning how to like make the focus groups, how to run them, how to facilitate them. So you're really getting hands-on experience. So it's a really good thing. Like he said, we're only in week 12, so we're year ones, and we're already like hitting the ground hard. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we actually also, through the Society of Human Resource Management, which is SHRM, we also went to the CASE competition. That's kind of like a competitive thing that happens. SHRM puts on this big conference in Orlando every year. And sometimes that switches, I think, to Tampa. But we had the opportunity to get a case. You get this kind of like long packet, and then you form a strategy around it, and then you go and present it at this conference. It was awesome because they paid for us to go there. And then we won, which was pretty cool too. So that was a lot of fun. But that's also an extremely rewarding experience. Once again, something to put on your resume. I feel like something that happens when you get out of your undergraduate degree, certainly in my experience, is I didn't have a whole lot of applied experience when I left undergrad, but pretty much immediately when you get into the program, like I said, you're stacking on a lot of things that are going to be tangibly useful when you graduate. So, does anybody have any questions?
Oh, yay.
Did you guys feel like you were prepared for the program? Like, did you feel like ready for it, or was it like really like challenging
I
at
think I
first?
can take this one. I'm gonna be honest. So like she said, like you can get liberal arts degrees. So I don't think I thought my undergrad degree really didn't prepare me as much as I would like. But kind of like she said, like Kayla said, we're like a team. So whatever you lack, the rest of your team can help you kind of bring it up or like show it in class. And also the professors, they're like really helpful. So if you don't think you understand something or you can't do something, just go to them and just talk to them about it. And I'm Dr. Schneider's GA, so if I have any questions or anything, I'll just ask her, but they're all open. And like she said, you're a team. You don't want your team to fail. So that's why I think that's a big thing about this program. It's kind of like we're a big family and we can like kind of help each other. And she's right, late nights at the library and everything like that. Like it's just like a big family. So I think, don't think that you're like underprepared. It's kind of like it's preparing you. So that's what the master's program is making sure that you can hone in on that skill. So I can feel like I was a little underprepared, but as I'm going through the program, it's like I'm gaining the skills that I'm thinking that I'm lacking, basically.
Which, you were an undergrad here.
Yes.
So Kathleen and I are both undergrads from this exact program, and we were right where you were sitting. So, yeah, if you're doing well in your psychology classes, I definitely think that you're prepared. I don't think you should have to worry about that. So,
The experience of the graduate classes is different. It's a lot less someone talking at you and more how you interact with your professors and your cohort, but it's very rewarding. You come out feeling like you know more about the subject and you're more confident of your ability to understand the subject than if you just read the chapters.
Taylor, do you keep in touch with anyone from your class?
Yep.
So where are they these days?
So, you know, Kenzie went on to get her doctorate, so she's getting a PhD right now at Clemson.
That's right.
Kaylin works with a large company. They make airplanes, and I should know the name of the business, but I can't remember right now. Mateus works, he actually just got brought on as a full-time employee of this company, so he works in training and selection. And I know Will is working, the last that I spoke with Will, I believe he was working with census, maybe? I think, but I could be wrong on that. But yeah, we all still talk regularly in our group chat, but they're all thriving, honestly. Again, I will say, when I say it's challenging, it's you're very capable of doing it, and you're a psych major here, right? So you're already going to come out with the tools that people might not come out with from a different university. Challenging, but extremely rewarding, like she said.
We actually have some questions from the Zoomers.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Amy.
So we have one that says, have you been able to conduct your own research?
In the program, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to do a thesis. I have not conducted research yet because I'm pretty new.
You're one, yeah.
Right. But that is something that I'm going to be meeting with my professors about like pretty shortly. I'm hoping to probably this month. It's been tailoring the email for them, so trying to get a meeting with them. But that is definitely something that I hope to do. I know that I spoke to Kenzie, who is a pre-B graduate from the program, and she did a thesis. So that is definitely she did her own hands-on research too. So absolutely.
And even if you're not doing the thesis track, so I did, you have the option to do thesis or internship. And I knew that I didn't really have any intentions on getting a PhD, so I took the internship track. Even so, I still had the opportunity to do research. And one project I did with Dr. Cass and Dr. Morganson, we worked with the Navy here. That's another great thing. Because you're so close to the Navy, there are so many opportunities that come from that resource. So when I was going through the program, we collaborated with the Navy and NOC-TSD, which basically is a branch that works with the Navy, to improve some of their training procedures. So, I mean, that was such an incredible opportunity, and how often do you hear about, people coming out of a program, freshly graduated with those types of, things on their resume. So, even if you're not going to do a thesis or you don't plan on pursuing a PhD, you can still get involved in research.
I was involved in that same project as an undergrad.
Right.
And that's what actually got me interested in the program.
Right.
And then I have another, I think this one's directed at the faculty. It says, do you look for any specific amount or type of work experience among the applicants?
Ooh,
We
good.
don't typically look for work experience, right?
No. We do have some people, in fact, Shaniqua could talk to that.
Yeah,
Is she still on there?
She's on here, but they can't hear her.
Oh. Never mind, Shaniqua. Shaniqua was working. She was a manager at,
Go in front of the camera.
instead of in front of the camera. Shaniqua was working. She was a manager at Krispy Kreme. And she came and visited the campus. She was in the area. She talked to all of us. And part of her thing was she wanted to learn how to manage not the way Krispy Kreme did it. So she's been doing great in our program, and she's now doing, what is it called, a practicum at Navy Federal, and she'll do her internship there as well. She's at work now, but I guess we don't have you can't hear her.
I can turn on the sound, but they can hear us. I think we can hear them.
I think what we
I
look,
get worried about
Yeah.
feedback.
I think the important thing that we look for is that you know what IO is and what you're getting in for, and that, we're not counseling, we're not a counseling degree. You work with people who are working, and if you have, some research experience, do well in research methods, we look at that. So those are the kinds of things that you should mention. If you do have a position, a management position or an HR position, that's fine, but it's not required.
Correct.
There are other programs that are return from work. We take a liberal arts graduate and with applied projects and experience, get them ready for professional positions. That's what we do. So, hope that answers.
Steve, do you want to say anything about student-initiated research? That was a question.
What was the question?
Student-initiated research.
Morganson responded, we've had students involved in research with faculty members that are student-driven and faculty-driven, and suggests reaching out to us, but it's only the Zoom folks who saw that comment. I wasn't sure if you wanted to
Well,
elaborate
I'm happy
for
to.
the rest of the room.
Sure. So the question was about student research, if you wanted to do research but you didn't want to do a thesis. The thesis is a great option, especially if you want to go on for a PhD. It gets you ready to do kind of the dissertation work that you would do in a PhD program. But if you didn't want to go that route and you still want to get some research experience, if you have an idea, you can do a directed study. You can work with a faculty member in their lab. So there's lots of opportunities to do research. Sometimes, like Kayla and Kathleen got involved in a project where we received funding for, and those are nice to have. But even if
They got paid.
they got paid to do research, which is really cool. That's not always a possibility. That's not always available. But it's always available for you to do research. Either working on a faculty project, or if you have a great idea that one of the faculty members has some expertise in, go to them. And I'm sure they'll work with you in a directed study, get some research experience out of that.
Is there any more from the,
Looks like.
anybody else
covered
have
all of these
questions from here?
questions.
Well, you know where I live. Sorta. I used to say I live in that little box, a little Zoom box, but to be in person this semester. Anything for the students? This is an unusual resource here to have people that are just embarking and have finished successfully what our graduate program. It can be intimidating to apply for graduate school, but it's worth it.
Oh, yeah, so totally just like cut you off.
No, I'm done.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
We're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, anyways, yeah, totally lost my question now. That's how it works.
I was saying how great these people were. Does that help?
Yes, it does.
It might come back to you in a second.
No, I got it. It was, now I lost it.
You were already ready for grad school.
Yeah, we do that all the time.
Yeah, sounds like a professor already.
About jobs. Yeah, okay, jobs. The jobs that you guys actually want, are those the ones that are like streamlined into this service? Does that make sense? Like the ones like you, is that kind of like a common thing? Like, yeah, everyone's pretty much connected with the job to degree.
Like the degree that you're getting applies directly to the job, and there's plenty of opportunities when you get out. Yes, absolutely. I would say so. I'd say that
A lot of companies are like behind you all the time.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in week 12, so
Yeah,
we're a
we're
little bit
year
harder.
one. Yeah,
We don't
that
have
was
much
my year
experience.
two.
But
I'll just say to
Kayla, take that one.
yes, definitely. The great thing in the program is that in all of your classes, most of them, you have an applied project, and those are with real companies, whether it's the university or it's a company in the area. So you will have experience doing an applied training project for a real company. You'll come out with experience doing a real organizational change and development project with a company in the area. So you'll basically sample all of the different parts of IO psychology and get that real hands-on experience by the time you leave. So you might even change what you're most interested in from the time you start to the time you leave, but the great thing is you'll be able to speak to all of those different areas, you know, in this short amount of time. And another thing is, our SHRM group that we have here, Dr. Shantz was awesome, and basically we could just go out into the community and partner with organizations and offer them a list of services that as IO psychologist students we could provide. And surprisingly, they want that free service, right? Like if they can get a training program or an onboarding, you know, service without having to pay and still getting, you know, quality work, they are absolutely going to take you up on that. So it's just limitless, honestly, the opportunities. If you can think of something that you really are interested in, somebody is going to back you. I was lucky enough to do guided classes with several of our professors, and you know, all of those varied so widely. Just things that I wanted to try out and, you know, get some experience in, and they all stepped up and were willing to help me out.
Cool, okay.
Yeah, if you'll take the initiative, they'll meet you halfway. Sure.
I like it.
And internships often turn into
Jobs.
jobs.
Right.
I would say that IO it's not a job itself. So I think I would hesitate to say you go into IO and you're fast-tracked into a particular job.
It's a little more versatile than that.
It's a lot more versatile. You can do human resources, you can do consulting, you can do research. And so you sometimes have to explain to people hiring you what IO is. And then sometimes, you know, we suggest show them your projects, as long as you've corrected all the misspellings and everything. That helps enormously. And once we get a student into a position, usually more follow. So we have had several people at Navy Federal, and we have people there currently. And we had several people at Penn Air, the bank, and they're open to taking people when we need a spot. So, but we do have since our program draws nationally, we do make you go out and beat feet to find your own internship. There's not a, we'll put this person here and that person there. We arrange the projects in your classes, but you have to go out and get your own internship like a job.
Nice, okay, that was good.
So,
We're good.
Well, if y'all ever have any other questions outside the open house, we're happy to answer it for you.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of times it's a lot easier to talk to a student, especially one was right in this exact program before. So, and I'm from Pensacola too, so anybody, you can come talk to me anytime.
and there are SHRM events with speakers and stuff. Keep your eye out for those. SHRM is a national organization. That's the Society for Human Resource Management, and there's hundreds of thousands of people in it. And when you do say SHRM, HR managers all know what that is, so it's good to get that on. Oh, I was a student member of SHRM. Dink. You know, check the box. And you can do that now as an undergrad.
That's true.
Okay, we had some boring slides about interests of faculty, but in the interest of the AHA test review, we're going to skip all those. Any other questions from the Zoomers?
Looks like they're done.
We did it, half an hour, yay! Yay. And
Thank you for joining us.
thank you. Thank you. You know, say goodbye before we leave town. Yeah.